I'm going in here not expecting much. I want to be surprised, but what in the world with them just constantly shutting down studios makes you think this could be the most stacked showcase?
Oh, if only you knew, Charlie. If only you knew. Morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because, one, I'm finally back, and two, the Xbox Showcase on Sunday was an absolute banger. So much so that I actually get to make a positive video for once. Because, you know, one of the biggest complaints I get about the channel, it hasn't happened much recently, but it has happened a lot in the past, is people are always like, oh, you're way too negative, dude. Can you cover something positive for once? Well, luckily, we get to be at least mostly positive today. Because that Xbox Showcase was so unbelievably good, even PlayStation fanboys cannot deny it. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to look at some clips of PlayStation fanboys actually enjoying and giving high praises to the show. And let me tell you guys, when I first saw some of these screenshots and whatnot, I actually thought we were in a different timeline. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this. Now, something funny I want to share real quick is that this showcase was so good and so many PlayStation fans were saying like, hey, Sony, what the hell? Why didn't you do something like this for us? That there are actually articles talking about it. It's kind of crazy. So anyway, now let's take a look at the first PlayStation fanboy I want to talk about, who couldn't deny how great the showcase was. And you may be surprised to hear this, and I certainly was, but it's Puero Rock. Xbox Showcase 2024. Overall amazing show. Probably the best gaming showcase since the gen began by anyone 10 out of 10. Particulars for me: Doom Dark Ages, South of Midnight, MGS Snake Eater, Flintlock, Perfect Dark, Indiana Jones, Wu Chang, Avowed, and Gears of War E-Day. Honestly, when I saw this, it made me more speechless than when I saw the Doom trailer. And I know some people are probably gonna be like, oh, well, we don't want this, we want Salt. And while I agree with that, don't worry, that's not going anywhere. This is definitely a one-off thing. Xbox praise is temporary, Doom is eternal. Or I guess now Doom is the Dark Ages. I don't know, something stupid like that. But whatever, the fact that Puero is giving a 10 out of 10 to Xbox is mind-boggling. But what's arguably even more mind-boggling is the amazing Lucas giving Xbox praise. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Let's go! Let's go, sir! Let's go, bruh. And on Game Pass. I already got Game Pass, but we let's go, bruh. They cooked, bro. They cooked. They cooked. They cooked.
Now, this was especially wild to see, one, because obviously Lucas's history, but to me, this kind of felt special, because for those of you who don't know, my first ever video on this channel, it was like 2.5 years ago, was about the amazing Lucas and his mental breakdown over Xbox buying Activision. And ever since then, I've kept an eye on Lucas. I've covered him multiple times since, especially when he had the breakdown over Elden Ring winning Game of the Year. But this almost feels like character development in a way. I feel like I've watched a PlayStation fanboy truly grow up. Maybe he'll finally be a normal human being for once. Nah, I'm just kidding. What am I saying? After his Blade reaction a few months ago, anything is possible. Then again, Gears of War E-Day seems to have united pretty much everybody on the internet. So who knows? Maybe it just took a Gears game coming out that people actually wanted for Lucas to change his ways. It makes me shed a tear knowing how much our little pony has grown up. Now that I think about it, that actually sounds like a communist version of My Little Pony. You know, because sharing communism. Whatever. Now I want to take a look at Reforge, because this dude was hyped for Doom Dark Ages. And I gotta say, I'm right there with him. Let's take a look.
Let's go, baby! That's how you open a show! That's how you open a show! That was freaking nuts! Oh my goodness. Game Pass, Series X and PC, played day one with Game Pass. Oh my gosh. Woo!
Now, don't get me wrong, I still don't like Reforge. He's incredibly greedy, and what he did to Alex was pretty messed up. But I would be lying if I said I didn't completely agree with that reaction. The fact that we actually get to use the giant mech that we saw in Eternal, and we get to 1v1 Titans in it, like, dude, that is gonna be so awesome. And then on top of that, we're flying on a dragon spitting fire down their throats. I mean, it's not very often that I say this about a game, but there is literally no possible way they could mess this up. Even just playing as the Doomslayer. You've got the chainsaw shield, which it's funny because I saw a comment on the Doom trailer that summarized exactly how I felt about the shield. I was like, wait, Doom Guy would never use a shield, and then spikes come out and he revs it like a chainsaw, and I was like, oh yeah, well, that makes more sense. And then you go full Captain America and you throw it and it bounces off things. And on top of that, you're one-handing the super shotty. And dude, don't get me started on that AR that's like a 5-way split, and it crushes skulls and uses the bone fragments as ammo. Like, every single time I think Doom can't get any more metal, it just finds a way to pull it off. I think the only thing that could potentially go wrong with this game is the fact that Mick Gordon won't be doing the music, so it might not be as good as Eternals. But honestly, I really liked what they played in the trailer, so I think, I can't remember the name of the new guy, but whoever he is, I'm sure he's gonna do a fine job. God, it just looks so good, and the fact that that's how they open the showcase is insane. You know, I had this revelation earlier, but Phil Spencer, after watching the Summer Games Fest in the Sony State of Play, probably had the biggest grin on his face. I mean, it's gotta feel good, because Xbox, you know, they've been messing up a lot recently. It seems like the media has been giving them mostly negative coverage, which is mostly deserved, I would say. So to have this showcase be this good and get this great of a reaction, especially because of Gears, it's gotta be a great feeling. And honestly, remember how earlier Puero said he gave it a 10 out of 10? I was originally gonna give it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10, but I upgraded my score to a 10 out of 10 just because of how positive everybody was. Again, including people who literally simp for the opposite corporation. So yeah, that was Reforge. Now we're gonna move on to Jtech, and then to end off, we're gonna look at Dreamcast Guy, because I know you guys have been waiting for that one. And oh boy, let me tell you, these last two get juicy, so buckle up.
Doom gonna make some money on PlayStation. It won't. But the last Doom, even though it was really, really good, it didn't do a lot. But I do believe it's gonna. I'm not giving it a fucking 9 or a 10, but I'll give it like an 8. I'll give it an 8.5 for the showcase.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give it a 9.
Okay, see, so remember how earlier I said this video is going to be mostly positive? Of course, Jay had to ruin it, just of course. But whatever, let's talk about the positives first. Jtech TV gave an Xbox event an 8.5. You know what, I was going to make a joke about the stars aligning or something, but actually I think it was, what, like a week or so ago, the planets did actually align, or like 6 of them did. So I guess Jay giving an Xbox event a good score shouldn't be surprising. The planets literally had to align for it to happen, but it did happen. But then it's weird, because he said Doom Eternal was good, but it didn't do much. What do you mean by that? It was a success in quite literally every way. People absolutely loved it and called it one of the best shooters ever made. And in terms of financials, within 9 months, the game generated $450 million. The only thing the game didn't really do well was multiplayer, which I really, really hope Dark Ages has actual good multiplayer. But either way, the game was massive and did a lot. So I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it didn't do much. But just wait, the clip gets worse.
And the reason why I'm giving it an 8.5 is because so much of this shit is 2025. If I review this again, I may end up dropping the score. I'm just letting you guys know, because so much of it is 2025, bro. And is it realistic with Grand Theft Auto on the horizon? And then whatever PlayStation is planning on doing next year?
Okay, so there's a couple things to talk about here. First of all, yeah, a lot of it is next year, but they showed off so many games. I mean, can you really expect most of them to come out in the next 6 months? Also, I love how he says, oh, with GTA 6 and whatever Sony is doing next year, because, you know, we still have no idea what Sony's doing next year. And I love that he's just assuming that Sony's gonna come out with some major announcement and then they're gonna release some huge game next year that's gonna be on, like, the same level as GTA 6. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. And on top of that, are they just not allowed to release a game in the same year as GTA 6? Like, obviously GTA 6 is going to be massive and it's going to be the most remembered game of next year, but that doesn't mean every other game should just hold off. I don't know, man, that just really doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, now we're going to move on to the grand finale of this video, Dreamcast Guy. Now, if you'll remember, before the Xbox showcase happened, Dreamcast Guy put out this tweet, and I'm going to go off of Delta's tweet, because Dreamcast Guy deleted this original tweet. Let's take a look. Xbox Showcase is gonna be a 4 out of 10. Remember this tweet. And as Delta said, oh, don't worry, Dreamcast Guy, we remembered. And now before we get into the video, and I actually give him credit for praising the showcase and admitting he was wrong, I have to bring up the fact that this absolute coward made a tweet about his new video on the Xbox Showcase and he hid replies. Bro knew he was about to get flamed, which, I mean, if you saw the like to dislike ratio statue I put in the thumbnail, he did. In fact, I don't have a screenshot of it, but people were roasting him so much on Twitter for this that his name started trending. So who knows? Maybe it was a good idea for him to turn off replies. I honestly don't know, but whatever. Let's watch him actually give some praise to this showcase. Because, you know, it's been a while since I've been able to give Dreamcast Guy a compliment for anything, so let's go ahead and do it.
The Xbox Games Showcase, because it has just concluded. I watched it and I have some thoughts, but to be honest, it was way better than I actually expected. I mean, I feel like my expectations were super low because PlayStation had a completely paltry state of play, and then we had Summer Games Fest, which was incredibly boring, whereas Xbox's showcase, it felt like E3.
You know, it's oddly refreshing to see Dreamcast Guy and these other guys just not being so overly negative. Especially given Paris has confirmed that Dreamcast Guy only talks negatively about Xbox, basically just for clicks and stuff. So if you think about it, not only was this showcase so good that the ponies were actually positive about it, but it was also so good that Dreamcast Guy couldn't even clickbait it being bad. Man, I sure hope he keeps being this positive throughout the rest of the video. It would sure be a shame if he made a passive remark at some point, because God forbid he not say something negative, right? I mean, surely he wouldn't do that.
If the stuff they showed today is legit, if these games don't get canceled, if the studios don't get shut down, it does feel like the next 2 years of Xbox could hopefully be legit.
God damn it, of course. All right, well, I promised you guys positivity today, so you know what? Let's end on a good note. Let's end on some more praise for Xbox from Dreamcast Guy.
Xbox killed it. They absolutely set expectations right and followed through perfectly.
And yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today. Again, I am just truly blown away by how positive everybody's being about this showcase. And it looks like from Indiana Jones to Doom to hopefully Gears E-Day, we're all gonna be eating good for the next like 2 or 3 years at least. You know, I'm trying not to jinx anything, but the future of Xbox is looking bright right now. Well, maybe not the console, but as a publisher, their future's looking bright. But only time will tell. So yeah, with all that being said, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and let me know which game from the Xbox Showcase are you looking forward to the most. For me, it's Indiana Jones for this year, and then Doom for next year. And also let me know what you give it out of 10. So yeah, with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join me and Minx on her Twitch channel this Thursday for a horror game stream, and be sure to join us every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern on this channel for Salt streams, and I will catch you all next time.